Hey friends, welcome back. Today we are going to be making a peanut butter cake, and I can go ahead and tell you, spoiler alert, it is absolutely delicious. So I have some of the ingredients in front of me. They do go in different steps. I do have this butter. It's been out for a few hours, softened butter. And so let's go ahead and get started. We will start out with the dry ingredients and we'll go from there. So I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour that I'm going to run through a sifter. If at all possible, you really need to try to sift your flour so you don't have clumps. Also, I have 2 cups of regular granulated sugar that is going to go in this mix. I also run it through the sifter, and I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of baking soda in this mix. I also run it through the sifter. So I'm just going to mix up the dry ingredients by hand a little bit inside the mixer before, and also I'm going to go ahead and get some of my other ingredients started, which is going to go in this mixture. So we're going to start out with 1 whole stick of butter that needs to go in a pan because you're going to need to bring this to a boil. And then we're going to use 1/4 a cup of peanut butter. This peanut butter in particular has no sugar added to it because there's enough sugar in it. And also 1 cup of water is also going to go in this mix. You put it in the pan and just, break it down, incorporate it, mix it up. It needs to come to a boil though. Once we get this step complete, we're going to add some more things into this dry mix, but we don't want to add it to the boiling mixture. You'll then take your mixture and add it into the dry ingredients. I actually take and stir this up just a little bit in there, and I stir it so it actually cools down some because I'm getting ready to add some other ingredients that I don't want it to cook. So my next ingredients are, I need 2 eggs that's going to go into this mixture. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract will also go into it. And I'm also going to add 1/2 cup of milk. And I'm just going to incorporate these, mix these up really good together, and then I'm going to add them in with this. That's why I wanted the mixture to cool down, is so I don't cook these eggs. Just going to add everything together now at this point. Take my spatula out and hook up my mixer. Also, this is my little kitchen helper, always helping. So now we're going to get started mixing, and just mix it until you can tell that all the ingredients are incorporated. You don't see anything that looks clumpy. I put mine on really low because it's a pretty wet mixture. So I think I have it on 1. I'm running it on 1. I do bump it up just a little bit later to 2, but it's pretty wet. But just continue to mix everything until it's fully incorporated. So the mixture is completely incorporated now, and we're ready to bake. So I actually use a 10-inch cake pan. I use some nonstick spray on mine, and there's enough batter there you could actually use a sheet cake if you wanted to. I chose to use a 10-inch cake pan, and I'm going to bake this at 350 for around 20 minutes. Mine actually went more like 30. Like I said, it's a pretty moist, wet cake. So you'll see at the end it looks really good, but it is a very moist cake. So just keep an eye on it. So now we're going to start with the icing. Now that the cake is baking, we're going to need a stick of butter, and we're going to need really half of this bag of powdered sugar. The powdered sugar is a 32-ounce bag. We're going to use a little less than half that bag. We will also need 1/3 a cup of milk plus 1 tablespoon of milk, 1/4 a cup of peanut butter, and 1 stick of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You're going to put this in a pan and bring it to a boil. Once these ingredients are brought to a boil, that's when you're going to add half that bag or around 16 ounces of powdered sugar to this mixture and just incorporate it and mix it up. I let mine cool for about 20 minutes and then I started putting it on my 10-inch cake. So the cake is complete and we're ready to get started on putting on this mixture. You can actually let your icing cool off a little bit longer than I did. I went 20 minutes, but I would probably let it go a little longer, maybe 25, 30. Just kind of keep an eye on it because you want it to thicken up like you can tell on the spatula, it's still a little runny, but it is starting to thicken up. So I'd probably let mine go just a little bit longer before pouring it on the cake. Hey guys, I encourage you to try this recipe. It was a really delicious cake, and I'll put in a picture here at the end of actually what it looks like. But I will see you guys on the next one.